Capricorn, what you are learning in 2024 is that it is more important to build a life that feels good on the inside rather than one that just looks good from the outside. Hi, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to my Cosmic Corner of the Internet, where we discuss all things astrology, and today, all things Capricorns in the year 2024. What are the major themes and transits that you should look out for? And furthermore, how can you co-create with the cosmos in the year ahead in order to live your life with maximum magic and alignment? I am a huge proponent in co-creating with the cosmos, using this information and these transits in order to flow in synchrony with where the universe is guiding us, rather than forcing something that truly is not aligned at this time being. I always tell my clients, I'm like, why force it to be a renovation year when it's a really powerful career year? Why force it to be a networking year when it's a really powerful money year? I'm all about utilizing these cycles and rhythms, not in a disempowering way, but simply to illuminate the major lessons, the major themes, and the major opportunities awaiting you in the year 2024. So this is a brand new series on my channel called 12 Days of Cosmos. I'm going through every single sign's 2024 horoscope within the year ahead. I want to let you know for sure, listen to your rising sign, and to a lesser degree, make sure to listen to your sun sign. Those are the only two that I would say definitely listen to, as a lot of the techniques and the information that I will share with you within this video are derived from houses. I use actual houses as well as solar houses. So those would be the two signs within your chart. Definitely listen to those 2024 horoscopes. You, of course, are welcome to listen to your moon, your Mercury, your Venus, your Mars, whatever it is that you would like to also contemplate if those themes are coming up. If you resonate with what is ahead for those signs as well, by all means, feel free. Letting you know, Capricorn, I got to your horoscope a little earlier than the others. We're going backwards in order. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I will post the next sign, again, moving backwards, so you can look out for the other signs that you want to listen for. I also want to let you know, within each of the videos, I will not be touching on every single transit that is occurring, but what I can tell you and what I can promise you is that I will be highlighting the most important themes and transits that you need to know as you move ahead into 2024. So Capricorn, now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, grab a snack, grab something to eat, because you, my love, in the year 2024 are closing out a major life-changing cycle that has been activated within your universe since 2008. So we have a lot to discuss. So let's go ahead and transition into Capricorn's defining transit of 2024. So Capricorn, let's talk about it, because this is a major year for you, and you are closing out a cycle that has been alive within your universe since 2008. You are culminating and completing that chapter this year, in the year 2024. So let's talk about this defining transit of 2024, which is Pluto officially leaving Capricorn. Pluto has been transiting Capricorn on and off. It did kind of dabble in Aquarius last year. It'll dabble in Aquarius a bit this year. Pluto has been transiting Capricorn on and off since 2008, and we can see the external ramifications of this transit, particularly when we consider Capricorn themes of essentially big business, capitalism, all of that. Pluto essentially is this regeneration energy. It's transformation. It's crumbling things down in order to rebuild them. And so to a personal level, taking away the focus from how we've seen this manifest in a very external way in terms of the economy and the structures, the status quo, let's talk about personally what's been awakening within you, because I want to let you know, Capricorn, wherever you have Capricorn placements, whether it's your rising sign, your sun, any other Capricorn signs, you have gone through a Pluto conjunction. And the thing about Pluto transits is that not everybody experiences a Pluto conjunction to their personal placements. We do not all experience Pluto transiting our sign during our lifetime. Pluto moves so slow that the country United States just had its first Pluto return. Like, that's how long it takes for Pluto to complete an entire revolution. So it's not that every single soul will be alive during the time that Pluto transits their sign, and yet you were. And I do believe that is significant, that you essentially incarnated at a time with your Capricorn placements to have a Pluto transit. With Pluto being the planet of transformation, you could have found that throughout the past couple years, really since 2008, you could have found certain aspects of yourself and aspects of your life that you thought were solid and secure, and this is the way that my life is going, you could have felt that those were essentially destroyed, that you did have to rebuild, that you did have to go deep. There could have been certain loss or grief that you have navigated since 2008, whether it's a physical loss within your world or even just grieving a prior version of yourself. And of course, that gives quite a lot of resilience. So you could have found since 2008, contemplating which aspects of yourself you've had to rebuild, which dreams you've had to grieve and let go of, which aspects of your life you've had to let go of, which aspects of your psyche and of your journey that you have had to face. Like Pluto is really the energy around illuminating the skeletons in the closet, the things that we have tried to run from, or really when we contemplate that I'm talking to you, Capricorn, the things that you tried to achieve your way out of feeling or healing. The energy of Pluto really reminds us that we can run, we can hide, but that Pluto energy remains underneath the surface, essentially whispering to us what truly matters out of life, because that is what loss and grief sharpens into focus for us. Again, I don't want you to navigate and move into this year with any sort of panic. I want to remind you, you're on the tail end of this transit, so I'm not predicting anything scary is going to happen, but what I do want you to honor is how you have sharpened into focus what truly matters to you, because a lot of times with Pluto transiting our sign, it really rips away any sort of illusion that we had around how we could achieve our way out of our past pain, or how these aspects of our life or these ambitions were going to be the thing that fixed it all. Pluto energy reminds us, like, wherever it is that you go, there you are. No matter what you achieve, there you are. No matter how far you go, there you are. And Pluto energy begs us to confront the secrets, the skeletons in the closet, what it is that we have brushed under the rug. It forces us to get to the core of who it is that we are as a human being, which is not easy. As I said, Capricorn, not every single soul on this planet will experience a Pluto conjunction, and Pluto conjunctions do gift resilience, because if you can face what is beneath the surface, your psyche, if you can face the skeletons in the closet, if you can get to the other side of a loss or a grief of some sort, that is earned strength. Nobody can take that away from you, because Pluto transits, it can sometimes sharpen into focus all of the things that can be taken away from us within our world around, wow, I really wanted this career path and it just feels like that was snatched away from me. Wow, I really thought we were going to build this life together and that was just not the case. Like, Pluto energy can remind us that we really don't have that much control over life, which I know for you as a Capricorn makes you a little uncomfortable. But what Pluto does gift, particularly when it is leaving this territory of the sky for good, what it does gift is resilience. It gifts being able to go deep and know yourself. It gives you the ability to take away any illusions that you had within this world, to really see things clearly and deeply. And so as you're on the tail end of this transit, I do want you to admire how you got yourself through this time, because Pluto transits can be some of the most challenging that we experience here on planet Earth. There could have been certain aspects of your life that you thought were static. You thought they were always going to be there. Pluto was transiting a Saturn ruled sign and they were ripped away. And that can make you feel a little bit lost in the interim, because when we talk about Pluto, we talk about transformation. So obviously it's a long period of time, but I would absolutely bet upon, if you were to go and find the actual dates of when Pluto conjoined your personal Capricorn placements, you are not the same person as you were before those transits. That's what Pluto does. It's a wrecking ball that might destroy us down to the foundation, but it does build us back stronger, more resilient, and furthermore, more aligned with who it is that we are truly meant to be. And I want to be careful with my language, because when we talk about Pluto energy, a lot of it is truly heartbreaking. It's truly traumatizing. So it's not me sitting here in my cosmic corner telling you, but it's all good because it's all meant to be. Like, with Pluto energy, it sucks. This is something you thought was going to be the path for you. You thought this element of your life or this person was something that would be static. And with the energy of Pluto, it just rips things away from us. And it can just be like, this is not fair. You could feel like you built this beautiful house and then a wrecking ball comes and just destroys it. And it's like, what the heck? But as you move forward, with Pluto now officially moving out of your sign, there's this opportunity to build on the right foundation for you. Because with the energy of Pluto, if this helps at all, if it is relevant for your circumstance, knowing and feeling aligned with the knowledge that with the energy of Pluto, yes, it does take certain things away from us, but so that we can build something that is truly aligned with the soul that we are meant to be. There's a deepening taking place, Capricorn, and it's echoed by a couple other transits that you are experiencing within this year. You are crystallizing the knowledge this year, and really it's been part of your life school since 2008. You're crystallizing the knowledge that it doesn't matter how fast you get to the top of the ladder if it's placed to the wrong wall. It doesn't matter how quickly you succeed, your healing goes with you. Like, there are certain arenas of your life that you thought this will fix it, and Pluto energy kind of crumbles you down to the core and makes you realize this is something that needs to be confronted now so that you can build the right ambitions, build the right dreams for you, not build dreams in an effort to escape or run from what kind of lingers underneath. What I can say to you quite confidently, especially with you being on the tail end of this transit, is that if certain things were taken away, you are meant to essentially build something that is even more aligned. You're meant to get to the core of who it is that you are as a human being, what it is that truly means something to you, what it is that truly matters to you in order to build and to leave your legacy. Because I do feel that with those who will have a Pluto conjunction within their lifetime, I do feel that they are essentially supporting humanity in transforming, in stepping up in a powerful way in order to lead, no pressure or anything. But I do want you to just take a moment as you move into this year, as you close out this year, 2024, just in case you're listening at the end of the year, just really acknowledging all that has been alive within your experience since 2008, what experiences have broke you down, but how you have rebuilt yourself even more strongly, even more powerfully, how it is that you have faced essentially the monsters under your bed, the skeletons in your closet that in past parts of your journey you've tried to succeed your way away from dealing with. Really getting to the core around what it is that you have acknowledged about yourself and your deepest desires within this time here on planet Earth. Because what Pluto sharpens into focus is that we either evolve or decline. And these are experiences that typically force evolution. They force us to continue to evolve and continue to transform. And since you are somebody who has had a Pluto transit, you can be able to lead from that standpoint, helping other people evolve and transform and face their shadows because you are on the other side of it. So I want to let you know that Pluto will enter Aquarius for good this year, but again, it's kind of dancing in between. Pluto starts the year at 29 degrees Capricorn. It enters Aquarius on January 20th. It continues to transit Aquarius. It will wrap up its transit through Capricorn for good in November 2024. So we're having a party. Okay, Pluto and Capricorn transit is over party. Okay, it's in November 2024, RSVP below, because you've earned it. That's the thing with Pluto. It takes things away, things that you thought were static, things that you thought were always going to be there. And the only person who dug you out of the dark place that sometimes Pluto transits can put you into was you. That's the thing. Pluto is earned strength. No one can take away what it took for you to rebuild. They can take away material goods. They can take away ambitions. They can take away external factors of our reality. They cannot take away the who you had to become in order to navigate the darkness, the shadows, the psychological healing and transformation that Pluto transits can prompt. No one can take that from you. So taking a moment to really honor how much you have transformed since 2008 is a huge theme that is echoing into your 2024. And so when we consider where Pluto is transiting, that's where this transformation is taking place. And you have had Pluto transiting the house of self, hence why it could have felt like your entire identity was up for regeneration and reconstruction. You can fundamentally look at yourself differently than you did in 2008. And so outside of your Pluto conjunctions, I also want to bring to the surface that if we consider house perspective, which of course I just want to highlight here, I am a Placidus astrologer, so we would want to look at where specifically you have 29 degrees Capricorn to 2 degrees Aquarius. The houses that encase those degrees are where you will have Pluto transiting. And Pluto transits are accentuated when they are essentially making a personal aspect to us. So if you do happen to have any Capricorn placements at 29 degrees or Aquarius placements between 0 to 2, you'll be having a Pluto transit this year. But I want to highlight, when we can just consider it from a whole sign perspective, Pluto is essentially ending its transit through your first house of identity. And so what could have really been up for reconstruction since 2008 is your sense of self. Like I said, there could have been certain visions that you had for yourself around how you saw yourself, the direction that you saw your life was going to go, that essentially were crumbled down, that you had to rebuild. Your aesthetic could have shifted quite a bit. The way that you saw yourself could have shifted quite a bit. How it is that you take care of your physical vessel could have shifted quite a bit since 2008. And essentially that journey is coming to a close. Now, with Pluto now essentially most likely entering your second house, there can be certain transformations coming in around your finances, and there also can be this fundamental desire to want to get deep beyond just your possessions and your material wants and desires. This desire to really go deep in regards to what it is that you own, and furthermore, what owns you. Next, we'll take it into what is your ruler doing in the year 2024. So you, my love, are ruled by Saturn. So we'll want to look at where Saturn is transiting, what Saturn is doing, to really tune into some themes that will come up for your year. So your ruler Saturn is transiting the sign Pisces. So since this is your ruling planet, you in some ways are learning lessons in association to the role that your ruling planet is essentially playing. So with your ruling planet transiting through Pisces, a lot of you can be contemplating some very spiritual concepts during this time. Perhaps maybe that's why you're here. Like I said, Pluto transits typically can be a crisis sort of energy. And so perhaps there was a form of spirituality or an attunement to the bigger picture that gave you a sense of comfort within the bigger fabric of humanity that you are continuing to dive into and ask questions about with Saturn transiting here, as well as with it transiting the third house of your astrological chart most likely. Third house has to do with our mind firstly. So I do want to say that some of you, especially when you consider Pluto wrapping up its transit and your ruling planet transiting through third house, some of you are experiencing this transformation in regards to your mental processes. I know when I was talking about Pluto energy, I was definitely saying how intense it can be, which absolutely can, but a benefit of Pluto energy is that it does make us get to the root of who it is that we are. It does make us uninstall programs that could have been running in background of our mind in terms of messages that other people told us about ourselves and about our worth that have sort of been just like running an autopilot within our mind. Like Pluto energy can really make you get to the core around, is this what I want or is this what you want? It can get to the core around, is this genuinely how I am or is this just how other people viewed me? Like with Saturn transit in third house, some of you are doing the work, because Saturn is where it is that we're doing the push-ups. Some of you are doing the work to really build a internal landscape of how it is that you talk to yourself that is one that is loving, that is compassionate, that is aligned with your big picture spiritual beliefs even. Because with Saturn in third house, you are exerting some discipline this year around what it is that you will and will not allow in your own mind. And listen, I'm not saying good thought, bad thought, good thought, bad thought, but there is this energy with Saturn transiting here in that you are essentially having boundaries around certain thoughts and line of thinking that you will allow versus not allow. If you are somebody who is consistently very mean to yourself and hard on yourself, which no shade, not calling anyone out, but just saying, you're Capricorn, okay? You're a little hard on yourself. Like with Saturn in third house, you are really getting to the core around how is it that I talk to myself, and are these stories that are mine to take on? Is this what other people told me that I took on as how it is that I see myself, how it is that I talk to myself? And so with Saturn transiting Pisces, you're working that muscle around where it is that you can be a little bit more compassionate in regards to your own landscape, as well as certain decisions that you can make that can support your mental health. You're really taking things into your own hands this year, and you're really understanding how it is that you embark upon your everyday reality does affect your mind. And why I say that is because in August 2024 and December 2024, your ruler, Saturn, will square off with Jupiter in Gemini. Of course, I will chat about that transit, but I do want to highlight that Jupiter in Gemini will most likely be transiting your 6th house, which has to do with health, it has to do with daily routine. And with the energy of Jupiter being excess and overdoing it, if there have been certain habits within your life that are rooted in the spirit of excess, eating too many sugary things, saying yes to too many parties, not having boundaries in regards to how much you can realistically take on, there does feel to be an energy with Saturn squaring Jupiter in that you may start to see some of the negative ramifications of the decisions that you make every single day on your mind, where you might start to notice like, wow, every single time I eat nothing but sugary snacks for dinner, the next day I have a horrible mental health day. Like there's something coming alive this year where you're starting to draw essentially conclusions around when this happens, then this happens, like cause and effect. And you're understanding the daily physical factors that can contribute to your mind and to your mental health. Again, this could show up within health, this can show up within work. For a lot of you, taking on too many tasks for other people, even being in an environment that is kind of like poisoning your mind or poisoning your brain. I don't mean that to be dramatic, but it really is this energy around understanding that the small decisions that we make every single day, we do have to pay the consequences for it. And with your ruling planet squaring Jupiter, if there's been excesses, whether it's, eating too much food that's not good for you, or listening to too much workplace gossip, like with the energy of Saturn Pisces, these things do affect your brain. And I do see with Saturn and Pisces, you're being a little bit more diligent about what it is that you will allow within your mental space, whether it's cutting out, not allowing gossip. Again, it's not just physical poisons, right, of not healthy food and alcohol and things of that nature. It's also like energetic, spiritual poisons, right? Like constantly listening to other people's drama and them talking trash about other people, or being around people who are just super negative. Like you are really, with Saturn transiting Pisces, you are understanding that even though you're a very realistic sign, you're understanding with Saturn and Pisces the effects on the energy and how it shows up within your mind, quite literally. And so with Saturn and Pisces, you might find you're a little bit more sensitive this year around conversations. You can find that most other years, maybe you were able to kind of like hold space for other individuals. And with Saturn transiting Pisces, maybe you're finding out like, hey, there's certain coworkers or certain situations where it's like they just want to dump all of their problems on me, and then I'm here holding it and dealing with their stress and their anguish. And maybe with Saturn and Pisces, there is a desire for some balance or some boundaries, because you are starting to see some parallels around when I make these decisions as part of my day-to-day, I pay the price, like mentally and energetically, honestly, with Saturn transiting Pisces. So that's something I want you to be mindful of. And also, when we consider that Saturn's transiting 3rd house, a lot of you are really working to speak up, because like I said, Jupiter can be an excess energy, and that's transiting your 6th house. And so there can be an excess of workplace gossip, as I highlighted, or just an excess of tasks in your schedule that also can be adding a lot of pressure to your mind. You might need extra diligence and organization this year in order to keep track of everything that's on your plate. Or you could just need to get comfortable saying no. Okay, with Saturn in 3rd house, using your voice to say what it is that you will and you will not take on, getting clear on the bandwidth that you can take on. Because again, with the energy of Capricorn, you are somebody who naturally just kind of takes on more and takes on more and takes on more. And it's not so much a question of how much you can allow, rather it's how many people ask you, because it might just be your default around, well, I got to take it on, I was asked, or that's what my job is. And with Saturn in Pisces, you are being asked to be clear with your language. And there are some work themes that are coming up. I will talk about that within our next section. But what I want to say here is with Saturn in the 3rd house, you could be getting clear around, no, I cannot help with those errands. No, that is not part of my job description. No, we cannot be allowing that sort of food within my house. Whatever it is, like you're really having to be clear on your language in order to inform what you will and what you will not allow in regards to your daily routine. You could even be having tough conversations around certain things you have to say no to in order order to say yes to the parts of your day-to-day that really do fill you up with good feelings, that really do support your mental health. Overall, some of you are going to learn a new skill this year. For some of you, you're going to get into working out or get into health in some regard. Maybe that's that transforming Pluto transiting the first house, Jupiter in the sixth house. Some of you can be really wanting to transform your physical appearance, and you're really willing to do the work in regards to your daily routines, as well as do the work in regards to saying no to old habits and old arenas of your life in order to continue to support that. And the exercise piece might really sharpen into focus towards the end of the year. That's when Jupiter will enter Gemini. Again, we will talk about it. Some of you are learning a new skill. You're learning a new digital career. You are learning a new modality. Some of you could be getting into tarot, something with your hands. Again, I'm seeing like the Pisces energy of something very mystical. And then third house has to do with hands. So Reiki, tarot, definitely something spiritual, but something that you can tap into in a very kind of almost physical way I'm seeing might come alive for you. Again, that could just be something in the back pocket that is helpful for you as you navigate this year. Some of you are moving into a career change. We will talk about that. And with Saturn in the third house, you might be learning a skill that's going to help you in regards to building a new career. So some of you could be learning SEO, you could be learning photography, you could be learning a new skill that ultimately is going to support you in essentially building a new career path. And so if it's not a skill that you are essentially learning and taking on, videography, photography, a lot of you are getting into social media. And I want to be super clear when I say this, because this is not giving blowing up overnight sort of energy, okay? But I don't want that to be something that is discouraging. If you have been wanting to do social media more seriously, this can be a helpful transit, but really strive to lean in with the Saturnian energy around learning the foundations, paying attention to the data, what is working, what is not working, getting creative, right? With the energy in Pisces, this can be a time that you build a really solid foundation for your podcast, for your social media, that you learn new tips in order to succeed on these platforms. But I do want you to know, and you know this well, you're ruled by the planet of time, it will take time. And when we also consider Saturn in the third house, some of you might need boundaries as it relates to siblings, extended family members, things of that nature. This will not be a message for everyone, but for some of you, there can be certain threads this year around feeling compassion, burnout for people who are coming to you and again, dumping things onto you. And with the energy of Saturn, it's just around being able to be compassionate, certainly Saturn and Pisces, but to a extent, this moment that you notice that your own well-being is paying the price for the space that you're holding for others, that is a sign that boundaries are needed and the cosmos are supporting you in enacting those boundaries. And so your ruler Saturn will transit 3 to 19 degrees Pisces within this year ahead. It will be moving direct towards the beginning portion of the year. It does station retrograde from June 29th to November 15th of 2024. But the first portion of the year, Saturn is transiting new degrees. So it's forward momentum. Really strive to take the first portion of the year to learn something new. And for some of you, you could be learning something new in regards to social media, a new hands-on skill, a new way to tap into your intuition, how to state boundaries to those that you love. Some of you are just learning in life school. And with the energy of Saturn in third house, be open to try new things. Be open to learn new things. Be open to have different sort of conversations with different sorts of people. With the energy of Saturn, your ruler moving into new degrees, be open to learn from the school that is life. So another very important transit for you, Capricorn, is that North Node will transit your fellow cardinal signs, Aries and Libra, throughout the entirety of this year. So North Node will transit from 21 to 1 degree Aries, and South Node will transit from 21 to 1 degree Libra. Now, nodes are a big deal for all of us. We will all have our own story baking in the cosmos based on the nodes. But when it's in your modality, again, these are your fellow cardinal signs, it tends to shape shake things up a little bit more. And it's important to know that North Node energies activate particularly around eclipses, which will be essentially in Aries season and in Virgo and Libra season in 2024. We will talk about eclipses, but broad level, where the universe is guiding you, and again, with it squaring your Capricorn placements, it's not always just a gentle push down a slide. Sometimes it's throwing you down in regards to change and transformation, okay? So where you are being guided is to contemplate and to prioritize your inner landscape and to advocate in order to protect and defend your inner landscape. You are learning to protect the fortress that is your peace, that is your well-being. Because with North Node in Aries, it asks us to take a very active approach. And with you, you're Capricorn, so a lot of people do rely on you. You are used to being the strong one. And that energy around wanting to defend or protect, oftentimes it is focused on others. But I want you to understand that this year you're stepping into the role of protecting the fortress that is you and really taking care of what it is that you need. There could be an energy around being more likely in past years to deal with things such as burnout because there was something that was not visible. It's like so long as the house was beautiful, it didn't mind that the foundation was crumbling underneath, right? Because you were the only one who saw how poor your self-care was, how poor your mental health was. So long as your career looked good and no one was mad at you and everything looked good, the other stuff you could deal with it. No one saw it, so it didn't matter as much. That changes this year. You really are advocating for yourself more so, even if people cannot see these underlying arenas of life. Again, health and well-being and mood and healing, even if other people cannot see these arenas of your life, you are prioritizing them. You are understanding it doesn't matter how beautiful the house is if my foundation, what's underneath the surface, is falling apart. And again, I just see with Pluto wrapping up its transit of Capricorn, a lot of you have had that tower moment where you dug so deep in the reserves to keep producing and doing what you were expected that now you're realizing just how deep you had to pull from and just how empty you feel. And there's this fierceness that you're tapping into this year where it's like no longer. And so with this energy, you are being a bit more protective of your inner landscape, and you're also being a bit more protective of your family, potentially. Now, some of you could initiate having a family or moving, like there could just be a big priority to home and family. But what I also see coming through for a lot of you, okay, not everybody, but when you consider this transit has been happening at the same time that you've had Pluto in your sign, you are transforming. And the thing is, sometimes our family unit is not used to that or is not accustomed to that. They're not used to you asserting boundaries. They're not used to you sticking up for yourself. They're not used to you essentially fighting back to a certain degree. And so for some of you, I see that you're actually tapping this Aries energy around asserting yourself around family, around no, that is not okay. No, that is not something that will allow. And there can be more conflict, honestly, that you are feeling with family members as you are going your own way in life. Like really with the energy of North Node Aries, it's about being proactive. It's following our instincts. And it really with the energy of North Node and Aries in the 4th house, it's being fierce in order to build our peace. I know those feel opposite, but really with the energy of South Node and Libra in the 10th house, you've prioritized other people's peace for too long. You've prioritized your boss's peace for too long. Like you would take on all of their tasks. So long as they were happy with you, you were like, no problem, I'll take on more, I'll take on more. You have prioritized the peace of your customers, of your client base. And there's the energy of North Node Aries around essentially taking charge of your life, no longer seeing yourself as almost like a side character in your own life. Like it just feels like there's been certain ways that you have been operating in the public eye where there's just been so much of your energy going to essentially how things looked and how things were succeeding and what you were creating, that now the cosmos is really asking you to contemplate, is this making me happy? And for a lot of you, it may absolutely be making you happy. And really where the energy of North Node Aries is coming in is really prioritizing your own mental and emotional health as you build your external ambitions. Maybe it's making certain shifts. If there are certain things that are not feeling balanced, that are not feeling in alignment, letting go of certain contracts, dialing more so into work-life balance in order to operate. What I find fascinating is that for some of you, we know that Capricorn's a very ambitious energy. Some of you are scaling back this year. And I want you to know there's a lot of beauty in scaling back. There's a lot of power in the pivot. It's not meant to be something disempowering. I do not believe that things need to constantly be growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. I think a lot of the problems that we see within this day and age are because of this more-itis that we have societally. And like I said, Pluto shook you to the core around this is what I want my life to be about. This is what means something to me. Why would I spend so much of my time and energy trying to make my boss rich or just trying to 10x my numbers every single year? There's just this energy around you are realizing that your life has felt like a treadmill that you are running on and somebody else is just like upping your speed and you can no longer keep up. And there's this energy around taking charge of your life and just being like, wait a second, like my life is passing me by. What means something to me? What are some shifts that will allow me more time at home, more time for healing? Chiron will also be transiting your 4th house and letting go of needing to be liked and needing to be validated by the public eye. Because like I said about Pluto energy, it shakes us to our core. And with the energy of South Node Libra, some of you found your validation in always being busy, in always succeeding. That's how you found your identity. And with Pluto going through the 1st house, it's almost like this canceling of these old ways of viewing yourself, of defining yourself in terms of your successes and your ambitions. With the energy of North Node Aries, it's really asking, what is it that I want to my core? And how can I ensure that I build things that are in alignment with what is going to make me happy? Like my mentor, I've shared this before, but she always has me chart out my perfect day. And whenever I'm contemplating a new decision for my business, she makes me look at my perfect day. And that's basically writing down the schedule of what your perfect day would be. If you have something on your work desk where it's like, you don't love to do it, but it's very lucrative, and you're like, how could I say goodbye to that money? Like again, Pluto energy reminds us, money can be made back. Our time cannot. And you're getting this divine calibration to get in alignment with what is going to make you happy. Now, with that being said, some of you may undergo some major transformation at work, like with South Node transiting 10th house. Some of you could be literally saying goodbye to a career path. You could get laid off. You could find that you're wanting to scale back. You could find you got what you wanted and you're realizing this isn't making me happy at all, actually. Like I thought this was going to heal me. I thought this was going to fix me. I thought this was going to take away my insecurity, but I just feel even more insecure now that I'm at this big fancy job. Like with the energy of North Node Aries, it's prioritizing your healing now. And again, not all of us necessarily have the resources to be able to take some time off, but what I do see is with the energy of North Node Aries, you're really contemplating what is that I'm going to build and how is it going to be a true honoring of what I need. Again, not all of us will necessarily have the resources to be able to take the entire year off. I'm not saying you necessarily need to do that, but pay attention to what you are feeling instinctually drawn to. What aspects of yourself that you are wanting to prioritize, because when it comes to being a Capricorn, you all do have a little bit of Benjamin Button in that when you were younger, you likely had to grow very fast. You were likely very mature for your age. And I just feel like with the energy of North Node Aries and Chiron also transiting Aries in the 4th house, I feel that some of you are really prioritizing inner child healing. You thought that these ambitions and these desires were going to heal you. And for some of you, there's something building this year where you're understanding wherever you go, there you are. You're understanding that wounded child within you still lives within you. Even if it's at the big fancy job with the big desk and the suit, it's still there. And so with the energy of North Node Aries, it's prioritizing that part of you and honoring. It's okay for you to scale back a little bit, for you to build your business, for it to be the most honoring of your inner needs rather than the most lucrative, that it's safe for you to prioritize and safeguard your own happiness. Because what I want to tell you, Capricorn, is it feels like not a lot of people did that for you. And now you're doing it for you. Like you are finally establishing those boundaries around, no, I cannot do that. No, I will not go there. Like you are being your own fiercest advocate and defender, and you're finally prioritizing yourself. You're prioritizing how it is that your life feels beyond how it looks, and you're getting comfortable letting people down. You're getting comfortable letting your bosses down. You're getting comfortable letting your LinkedIn down. You're getting comfortable letting people in your family down. Like, you're really just tapping into this energy around, this is my life, this is my time. I need to build a life that is truly honoring of my roots. And when I say the word roots, I always think of fourth house as like the roots of the tree. Like the branches, that's the midheaven, that's the top of the chart. That's what people see, right? But to get to the heights that we are destined to get to, we have to, in equal measure, have roots that can support that growth. And it just feels like for some of you, there's been so much focus on how high can I make things, how much can I succeed, that you have not been prioritizing how much am I nurtured, how much am I in tune with my emotions, how much am I healing. You haven't been focusing on the private aspects that no one can see, how deep your roots go into the earth. That's what allows you to take in nurturing to essentially ascend to the heights that you are meant to reach. So it's not me saying that you need to not focus on career this year from a disempowering way. You can focus on career. All I ask is that make career choices that will allow you to prioritize your emotions, that will allow you to prioritize your healing, that will allow you to prioritize what is baking and happening for you beneath the surface, and know that that might feel like a step back, to let go of certain lucrative clients, to not go for that fancy high-paying job. It might feel like a step back, but again, you are just prioritizing what is beneath the surface that will allow you to stretch higher, to reach new aligned goals that will be truly meant for you. Like, that's the energy of North Node Aries, this understanding. It doesn't matter what I succeed with in the outer realm if it's not matched by my own happiness, by my own self-care. And that's the recalibration alive for you this year. So look out for that story, particularly punctuated around the eclipses. So we have the lunar eclipse in Libra on March 25th at 5 degrees Libra. So if you have Capricorn placements between, we'll say like 0 to 10 degrees, you'll definitely feel that a little bit stronger. And again, the focus of that will be on career, public persona. But again, with it being on the South Node, letting go of essentially certain contracts or certain ambitions of what you thought you wanted in order to carve more space for what will genuinely nourish and feed your soul. The solar eclipse will be on April 8th, and that lands at 19 degrees Aries. So the Capricorns who will feel that one the most will be my Capricorn placements, will say from 14 degrees Capricorn to 24 degrees Capricorn. Will absolutely feel that baking. And again, with this being a solar eclipse, it's a new start. And with it being on the North Node, it's a new start that's going to lead to gain as it relates to home, family, property. So again, some of you could be moving this year or starting a new cycle in regards to family, whether it's enacting more boundaries that are conducive for healing, or starting a new positive relationship, starting a journey as a parent. Okay, Jupiter's transiting the 5th house, the beginning portion of the year. So just letting you know, again, there can be a start of a new renovation project or a new home. There's both a focus on the home of your soul that nourishes you, as well as your physical residence that nourishes you as well. And so on September 17th, we will have a lunar eclipse in Pisces. That one will be in your 3rd house. So again, there can be certain illuminations of new skills you want to learn or new important conversations you want to have. That's sort of a harbinger of where our upcoming North Node in Pisces work will be next year. So definitely look out for what is illuminated to you at that time. And then on October 2nd, we will have a solar eclipse in Libra, which lands at 10 degrees Libra. So my Capricorn placements from 5 to 15 degrees Capricorn will feel that the most. And again, it's a solar eclipse, new start on the South Node. New start that is essentially encapsulated with a letting go of sorts. So understand that what you could perceive this year as a step backwards could be allowing you to rest, rejuvenate your physical, emotional, and spiritual energetic bodies in order to build the dreams and ambitions that are truly in alignment for you. Now, another shift that I want to let you know about, and it's not the most intensely personal thing, but I do want to highlight here that for the first portion of the year, Jupiter will be transiting Taurus, and you could be feeling more inspired. You could be feeling more creative, especially since Jupiter will align with Uranus in the beginning portion of the year. Now, as we wrap up, there's a couple of transits that I just want to let you know about. They're not the most defining for you, but it's just basically signaling some opportunities that are awakening for you in the cosmos this year. So let's start with Jupiter. So for the first portion of the year, Jupiter will be transiting Taurus, I also want to add that if you have Capricorn placements between 5 to 29 degrees, Jupiter in Taurus will trine your Capricorn placements. And this brings sensations of ease, doors opening, things feeling lighter, feeling a little bit more free, particularly when it comes to expressing yourself, doing what's fun. Some of you are going to get really into a hobby with Saturn transit in the 3rd house, Jupiter in the 5th house, like really wanting to master a hobby, get good at a new skill. And really with Jupiter transiting the sector, wanting to have more fun. Some of you are getting more expressive with your personal style. Some of you, I mentioned this briefly, but I just want to say, 5th house, we talk about birth. Okay, Jupiter is the expander. I'm not saying every Capricorn will give birth this year, but it can be a time of either conception, or it could be in a metaphoric sense around giving birth to a new creative project or something of that nature. So some other themes to look out for. But really with Jupiter transiting your fellow Earth sign, you could definitely expect the first portion of the year, so from January 1st to May 25th, to be marked with this sensation of openness, expansion, feeling a little bit more lighter, feeling a little bit more creative, feeling a little bit more flirty also, since 5th house has to do with the romance. It will align with Uranus in April of 2024, and this will essentially activate your 5th house. So some of you are going to have a fling with someone who is so outside of your normal type. Like it's going to be a random connection with somebody that you would not expect. It can be something very electrifying, very passionate, very fun. Now, if you're not single, this transit can be aligned with you and your partner doing something fun, so that kind of ignites the more flirty, passionate side of your relationship. With Jupiter and Uranus, things could get a little unusual, passion and intimacy wise. You could be trying something new, honestly, with Jupiter and Uranus, and really just open to new experiences together as a couple that kind of ignite that fun part of life for you. Some of you can be creating art that is very rebellious, very unconventional, very much not something that people would expect, especially when we consider that the Jupiter-Uranus aspect will also trine Lilith. Like it can be something that's rebellious. It can be something that is controversial even, and definitely knowing that in April you could be feeling very inspired. Like with Jupiter-Uranus, you're wanting to create new things. And furthermore, like I was highlighting with North Node transit in the 4th house, you're prioritizing the things that make you happy. You're awakening your lust for life. You are creating things not for their outer discernible value, but just because it's a celebration of being alive. And really with this energy in the beginning portion of the year, you're taking time to have fun. You're enjoying the process. You are going slower in your life. You are taking time to sniff the flowers, so to speak. You are chiseling and honoring hobbies this year. Like I said, with your ruler transiting 3rd house, Jupiter transiting the 5th, great time to be prioritizing learning something new, playing an instrument, creating art, like doing things that aren't necessarily about climbing the corporate ladder and succeeding in money, but alas, are something that are equally important for you to water and nourish within your life. And then in May, Jupiter will enter Gemini, which isn't necessarily bestowing all of the gifts and blessings. Jupiter doesn't particularly like being in Gemini, but I do want to let you know that with Jupiter transiting the 6th house, there can be an energy coming in towards the end of the year, again from May 25th onward, around new job opportunities coming in. Again, maybe job opportunities that are in alignment with your perfect day, that are in alignment with truly chiseling work-life balance, that are in alignment with essentially the place you want to live and the lifestyle that you want to lead. Other themes of Jupiter transit in the 6th house, some of you could be prioritizing wanting to feel your best. Again, North Node 4th house, Jupiter transiting your 6th, you could be wanting to eat better. You could be wanting to work out more. You could be really wanting to take care of yourself this year. Like 2024 is a year that you are learning true self-care, and it goes beyond just bubble baths. Like true self-care is making sure that you move your body. It's making sure that you eat delicious foods. With Jupiter and Gemini, you could be researching the best diet for you, or foods that you want to integrate, or supplements that you want to integrate in order to feel your best. Like I said, this year is about everything that's beneath the surface that people don't necessarily see, but is supporting you in showing up as your best self. It supports you in allowing your branches to reach higher. There's certain old programs that you are flushing out this year around, I need to hustle and grind 24/7 in order to succeed. Like I can sleep when I'm dead. It doesn't matter what I eat so long as I get this next deal. Like a A lot of you, like I've said, you've been running on empty. You've been running on nothing. You've been running on fumes. And this is a year where you are realizing how important it is to pour into yourself, whether it's pouring into yourself by learning Saturn in 3rd house, Jupiter and Gemini in the 6th, learning what will fuel your body, what will take care of your body, learning something new that will align you to a work environment of somewhere that you generally want to be. Editing Haley here. Sorry for the interruption, Capricorn, but I wanted to add for the Capricorns who are craving new employment, Jupiter transiting the sector can be opening the door for new opportunities as well as lessening existing work responsibilities that no longer feel in alignment. Some particular dates that I want to highlight to you to potentially look for employment or new opportunities are June and July. So this summer, particularly in June, we have Jupiter and Gemini trining Pluto in Aquarius, which, as a reminder, will be most likely transiting the 2nd house of finances. And so some of you can be shifting to a web-based business or shifting to something that is more innovative or something of that nature. I mean, really with Pluto in the 2nd house, a lot of you are transforming how and where you make your income. And with this Jupiter trine, it's like doors opening for that. So if any of you have been wanting to start a home-based business, right, North Node in Aries, that allows you that quote-unquote perfect day, that allows you that freedom and flexibility and work-life balance that you're craving, just letting you know June could be an optimal time to either create that or look for that. And then in July, we have Jupiter and Gemini sextiling the North Node. So it can be something that pushes you along towards that quote-unquote perfect day. And learning strategies to be able to not take on other people's energy. Be mindful of coworkers and chatty coworkers and gossip with Jupiter and Gemini in the 6th house, because like I said, with your ruling planet, Saturn and Pisces in the 3rd house, you could be taking that on. And so with Jupiter and Gemini, really put energy towards making your workplace a good place to be, because we are energetically drinking up our surroundings every single day. Mentally, we are digesting the conversations that we are having. So really, it just feels like a year that you are tapping into a higher degree of mindfulness, and you're really stepping into wanting to take the best, most radical care of yourself. And I'm cheering you on, Capricorn. Now, the last transit that I just want to put on your awareness, and of course, I will be doing deeper dive videos into each of these, but I just want to let you know, the end of the year, we do have Mars retrograde, and it will transit the 7th house of 1-1. So you may have past, essentially, flings come back. There can be arguments with people from the past or with a partner from the past that come back. I just want to let you know that that's something to look out for. As well as if you are in a relationship, this transit can be linked with the time that you two are reviewing or re-aggravating conflicts and disputes from the past. It's important to highlight from the past because Mars will be retrograde in the signs Leo and Cancer. Cancer, thus, is your opposite sign, so that governs other people. And Cancer is very nostalgic. It's very much about the past. It's very much about holding on to things. So if there have been frustrations that you've been holding on to and not being very direct around, that retrograde really moving into 2025 is going to bring those old conflicts up for review. So in closing, I just want to rapid fire let you know some of the major themes that are coming in for you within this year's astrology. So Jupiter in Taurus is asking you to essentially appreciate the joy and the pleasure in being alive. Activate your senses, create beautiful things just for the sake of being alive. Don't be afraid to get weird with it when Jupiter conjoins Uranus. When Jupiter enters Gemini, May 25th, be open to learn new skills that will improve your daily working environment. Be open to learn about how it is that you can take care of your physical vessel, your physical body within true self-care. With your ruler transiting Pisces, understand that there is such a thing as spiritual discipline around being disciplined around whose energy you take on. Be open to learn new skills and new ways of expressing yourself that lead to more clarity within your world. With North Node transiting Aries, understand that sometimes you do have to be your own fiercest advocate and you have to be your happinesses. own fiercest protector. And with South Node transiting Libra within your 10th house, understand that for you to build your own dreams, you need to let people down, or else you'll just be building other people's dreams. With Uranus continuing to transit Taurus in the 5th house, be open to get out of the box, try new things, create new things. With Neptune continuing to transit your 3rd house, be open to spiritual wisdom that can come through conversations or skills that can help you tune into universal source energy. And with Pluto wrapping up its transit in Capricorn within your 1st house, be open to the new you that is arising in this year's astrology as you wrap up that transit. And with Pluto entering the 2nd house, understand that material things we can't take with us. All we can take is our legacy. So really the question remains is, what will your legacy be? And how can you build a life that truly feels good on the inside and really honors the emotions that you want to feel as part of your day-to-day? So I've crafted you some supportive mantras that you can lean on as you continue to navigate this year's astrology, and they are as such. I fiercely protect my happiness. I establish boundaries in order to protect my energy. It is safe for me to play. It is safe for me to prioritize how I feel. My own comfort is top priority. I build a life that is aligned with my true value. I let go of needing to please other people. My value is not tied up into how much I produce within the public eye. I am a resilient, powerful soul. So Capricorns, what are you looking forward to within the year ahead? What are you hoping to gain out of this astrology? Make sure to listen to your sun and your rising sign if you have not yet already. If it hasn't been posted, those will be posted throughout the month of December. I am sending you a lot of love, Capricorn. I'm wishing you such a powerfully healing year ahead. And if you're not familiar with me nor my channel, I want to let you know that I guide you through every single week of astrology through my weekly horoscope series. It's called Magic Monday. Make sure to subscribe. I don't just leave you off with the 2024 horoscope video and say, figure it out. I'm always here supporting you as you move through these transits. But until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.